Hello and welcome to Lesson 6, Word Problems with Mixed Calculations. Today's word problems will require you to possibly do more than one type of operation. For instance, you may have to multiply and then add, or you may have to divide and subtract, so we'll have to use mixed calculations. Before we move on, let's review our four steps to solving word problems. Number 1, read the problem. Number 2, make a plan. Number 3, execute your plan. Number 4, check your work. Okay, so let's move on to our word problems that contain mixed calculations. Step 1, we need to read the problem. So our problem states this. Matt had some extra school supplies. He had extra erasers and notebooks. He decided he would trade his extra supplies for stickers. Sally wanted one eraser and one notebook and offered Matt 14 stickers. Paul wanted one eraser and 2 notebooks and gave Matt 22 stickers. So, how many stickers did one notebook cost? How many stickers did one eraser cost? So now that we've read the problem, what are they asking us to solve? They're asking 2 things. 1, how many stickers did one notebook cost? And how many stickers did one eraser cost? Is all the information given that we will need to use to solve the problem? Yes. So now we know what needs to be solved, and we have all the information. So let's move on to step 2 and create our plan. So let's think about what we will need to do to solve the problem. Let's look at each part separately. How do you think we can determine how many stickers a notebook cost? So we know that Sally wanted one eraser and one notebook, and she gave Matt 14 stickers. And Paul wanted one eraser and 2 notebooks and gave out 22 stickers. So, if that's the case, then what do you think we could do to figure out how much one notebook cost? Well, if we took how much Sally was paying and how much Paul was paying, and we subtracted those, that would tell us how much one notebook cost. Because Sally was buying one eraser and one notebook, and Paul was buying one eraser and 2 notebooks, so they were paying the same amount for every item, but Paul got one notebook more. So if we subtracted how much Sally paid from how much Paul paid, then that would tell us how much one notebook costs. Okay, so let's move on to see how we can determine how much an eraser costs. So we already know how much a notebook costs. So to determine how much an eraser costs, all we have to do is subtract the cost of the notebook from the total amount that Sally paid, and that's going to give us the cost of the eraser because Sally only got one notebook and one eraser. So now we have our plan. So let's move on to step 3 and actually execute our plan. So here's our formulas to solve the 2 parts of the problem that's needing to be solved. First, we need to figure out how much the cost of one notebook is, and then how much the cost of one eraser is. So the formula for the notebook is the number of stickers that Paul had. We're going to subtract the number of stickers that Sally paid with, and that's going to give us the cost of the notebook. Once we have the cost of the notebook, we can then subtract that from the number of stickers that Sally paid to come up with the cost of an eraser. So here's what we have. Paul had 22 stickers. Sally had 14. We subtract 14 from 22, it gives us 8. If we then take that 8 and subtract it from the 14, which is how much Sally paid, that gives us 6. So the answers are a notebook cost 8 stickers and an eraser cost 6 stickers. So let's move on and check our work and make sure that this is correct. If you subtract it to get your answer, then you're going to add to check your work. So, if we take the 14, which is how much Sally paid, and we add back the cost of one notebook, that's going to give us 22, which is exactly how much Matt paid. And if we take the cost of an eraser and the cost of a sticker, or the cost of a notebook, which is 6 and 8, it gives us 14, which is exactly how much Sally paid. So yes, our work checks out. Let's work through another problem together. There are 14 gumballs in the gumball machine. There is 2 more red gumballs than there are white. How many white gumballs are in the machine? Okay, so now we've read the problem. What is the problem asking us to solve? Okay, they're wanting us to solve to find out how many white gumballs are in the gumball machine. Is all the information there? Yes. So now we know what we want to solve for, and we know all the information is there. So we'll move on to step 2 to create a plan. So what are we going to need to do to solve this problem? What operations will we use to solve the problem? So we know there are 2 more red gumballs than white. So if we subtracted 2 from the total, that would give us what? That would give us the number of red and white gumballs combined. And since there are only 2 colors, if we divided that by 2, that would give us the number of each of the gumballs. So the formula is this. First, we take the total number of gumballs and we subtract 2. This gives us the equal amount of red and white. We then take the equal amount of red and white to divide that by 2, and that's going to give us the total number of white gumballs. So we have our plan, we have our formula, let's solve the problem. Now let's execute. First, we're going to take the total number of gumballs, which is 14. We're going to subtract 2 because there's 2 more red gumballs than there are white. So there's 14 minus 2 is going to give us 12. That is the equal amount of both red and white. So we're going to take that equal amount, which is 12, divide that by 2. That's going to give us the total number of white gumballs, which is 6. So there are 6 white gumballs in the gumball machine. So, how many red gumballs are there? So we know there's 6 white ones, and there's 2 more red ones. So how many are there? There's 8. So we have our answer. Let's move on to step 4, and we're going to check our work. To check our work, we simply add the total number of red and white gumballs. There's 8 red, there's 6 white. That gives us a total number of 14 gumballs. So is our answer correct? Yes, our answer is correct. There are 6 white gumballs in the gumball machine. Please move on and complete your independent worksheet.